Welcome to the Give This podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Kai. This podcast is sponsored by the GPS Online program, which Forbes has stated helps entrepreneurs become professional speakers. For more information, go to christopherkai.com. Our guest today is Gregory Wrightstone. He is an author, speaker, and climate contrarian. Gregory, welcome to our show.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
So as I said to you earlier, Greg, that I really admire people that are different, think different, are educated differently. And I mentioned to you, I used to work for American Express, and our former CEO, his name is Ken Chanel, he actually majored in geology. And I see that you he majored in history. But the point is, like, it was a not typical major. So I'm just curious, why did you choose to major in geology?
Actually, I had a grandmother, Grandma Nellie, as a matter of fact. It was I guess she would have been a hippie if she would have been born later, and she introduced me to some great fossil collecting spots, and that got me interested. And it was either that, art, or geology. And I went with geology, and I've had a long career. But I left the business world after having gone through a few startups, and I got. What I did, I've written a book by the name of Inconvenient Facts, and it's been a #1 bestseller on Amazon in several categories for almost a year and a half. And what I did not set out to write a book. I really didn't. I set out to seek the truth because, like many people, we've heard so many different things about climate change. And is it warming? Is it too much ice? Not enough ice? Too much water? Not enough water? You know all the things. And I said, well, I'm going to go out and find out what's actually going on. So the book was really the end result of my own personal search for the truth. And frankly, what I found shocked and angered me in some ways, in that we're not getting the true story. It's a very different story from what I found. And that's what I really have to communicate is what I have found, and it's not even close, is that due to climate change, global warming, yes, it's been warming for over 300 years, and increasing CO2 is actually leading to an Earth that's thriving and prospering, and humanity's benefiting from that warming and increased CO2. And it's not even close by almost every metric. Go ahead. I mean, this COVID-19 isn't very good, but if you look at just about everything we're looking at, crop production keeps skyrocketing, breaking new records every year.
Well, let's unpack this stuff, okay? So the news, or Al Gore, as you mentioned in your book, Inconvenient Facts. Let's just talk about, okay, so first of all, the one main thing is, okay, not just Americans contribute to 25% of the consumption in the world, and therefore they contribute to 25% of the greenhouse effects in the world, the CO2. So first of all, so are you saying that you don't believe that the climate change, well, first of all, is the climate getting warmer? Yes or no, in your opinion?
Oh, absolutely. And it's,
okay.
And I'll just, let's unwrap that for just a moment.
Yeah.
I agree that we are increasing carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And it's mainly due to our burning of fossil fuels. And that increase of carbon dioxide contributes to some warming of the atmosphere. I just don't believe it's the primary driver. I think it's overwhelmed by the same natural forces that have been driving temperatures since the dawn of time, frankly. And as a geologist, that's what I do.
Wait. So let's again, I want our listeners to really get as much out of this, because I want to be the contrarian, right? So you're the contrarian. I want to challenge you, because again, this is how you learn and grow, right?
Challenge me.
So like, the way I kind of make an analogy where, okay, so scientists, as you know, there's a process, just like with what's going on now. I mean, do you believe in air? Do you believe in gravity? Do you believe in water? Because those are all science-based, factual things we learn from a scientist that go through a very clear process, right? So with the climate change, like, I don't know factually if that's true, but if I know that 98% of scientists, whether you're listening to Fox or CNN, again, that's another kind of polarizing thing, right? But I'm just curious, from your scientific perspective, yes, the Earth is warming, but you're saying that yes, the human beings are contributing by burning fossil fuels, but one of your main points is that you don't feel that that's as catastrophic as that they make it sound to be?
Well, absolutely, because if you look at the catastrophic argument and predictions, are predictions, speculation about what might happen 50 or 80 years in the future based on climate models that can't model climate very well.
Yeah.
What I do, I'm a real world guy. I look at what's actually happening today. We've been warming for 300 years. We've been adding CO2 really since the Second World War.
But not at the scale, though, is what the argument says, though, right? The
Right,
scale that we have
exactly.
7.76 billion people.
Right. We're increasing more CO2 every year. And shouldn't, if there are going to be some catastrophically bad things to happen, shouldn't we be able to recognize them by now? And
No, but
what I,
isn't what's going on with Miami in terms of
no,
hurricanes and
no,
going on with
no, no. It's what you're being, there's so many, my next book is about the climate hoaxes, not that climate change, not that climate change is a hoax. It's not. But some of the things we're being told just this last week, there were three issues. They said Antarctica is melting. Well,
not?
yeah. Well, 90% is stable or increasing ice. It's only Western Antarctica that has a melting ice. And if we look at it geologically, it's melting from below because there's this rift system of heat flow from coming up from the earth that's melting the ice from below. It has nothing to do with CO2 driven warming. If that was the case, it'd be melting from the top down. And we see that, but there was another study just last week. So yes, parts of Antarctica are melting, but it's not due to climate change. And if we look at the study last week on a mega drought in the Southwest, they said, well, it's the worst in 1,200 years and it's ongoing today. No, it's not. No, it's not. There was a severe drought that lasted 19 years. It ended at the beginning of 2019 and the authors knew it. They knew it and they published it just last week. And yet they stated it's ongoing as of 2020. You can go to the EPA website and look for droughts and you'll see, look at January of this year. There was zero drought in the area that of the United States that they were talking about. And they knew it. And it's the thing, it angers me. And what they're trying to do is it's a climate of fear that needs to be promoted. And that's what they do. They take anything that's odd or unusual and say, see, it's climate change. It's climate change. We see that in fires. Everybody thinks fires are increasing. If you look at CAL FIRE, if you want to know anything about fire in California, you go to CAL FIRE. According to their numbers, the number of fires in California, you're going to be shocked, has declined by almost 50% in the last 30 years. The area burned has increased, but that's a forest management problem. No one knows that the number of fires are decreasing, not just in California. I just looked at Oregon.
I don't know. I remember reading, in California that the severity of the fires and the earlierness of the fires. But let's talk about this, right? So I hear what you're saying, but so you're saying the entire world community of scientists who pretty much are skeptical by nature, right? So you're saying that you know the truth and the facts.
Well, let's back that up a minute.
Yeah.
Let's start with the 97% consensus. The author of that was John Cook. He would consider me part of that 97% consensus. He cast a wide net, and he would include me and just about every other scientist that's skeptical of man-made catastrophic warming, because we believe. I've never met a climate change denier ever, and I know most of the people that are scientists that are doubting man-made warming. We believe that what I just stated before was CO2 adds some warming to the atmosphere. We just don't believe it's the primary driver. There's nothing radical about that. And most of us believe that we're having, for the most part, beneficial effects from warming and increasing CO2. And it's stark. The biggest thing we look at is a greening of the earth with vegetation's increasing. And rather than deserts expanding, they're shrinking. And we can look at an example is the Southern Sahara, the Sahel, 300,000 square kilometers of that area, former desert turning into a lush grassland. India, China, Australia, former arid areas. And it's because a warming earth and warming oceans evaporate more water, which leads to more precipitation. That's part of it. And the other thing is that because of increased CO2, there's more soil moisture left in the ground because plants don't need to breathe in and out, transpire, it's called. They don't need to, so they're not losing much water, so there's more water left in the soil. And that's why worldwide fire has been in decline, not increasing, and droughts are actually declining if we look at that. And that's what I'm working on right now. And I just wrote my latest commentary showing peer-reviewed studies. You can go to NASA, to NOAA, to the EPA on droughts and find out that it's quite a bit different than what we're being led to believe.
Fascinating. Gregory, how can our guests learn more about you, your viewpoints, and your book?
Uh, my website is inconvenientfacts.xyz, and I've got a YouTube. You can go and see I've got a brand new series of YouTube videos. It's called Climate Chronicles, and again, you can see the newest one on drought on my videos. I'd recommend, if you're not going to look at any others, there's a really interesting video and commentary I've got relating the witch hunts of the late Middle Ages in Europe to climate change. It's fascinating. 30 to 40,000 supposed witches killed, most of them burned at the stake because of cooling temperatures. We need to fear the cold, not the heat.
Interesting. Gregory, thanks again for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.